You came back. Here we are, Rosh Hashanah day 2. Yesterday we celebrated creation. Today we're going to celebrate the shofar. You may have noticed that yesterday we didn't use the shofar. Yesterday, the first day of Rosh Hashanah, was Shabbat. We don't use the shofar on Shabbat. But the second day, which is a Sunday, we can blow the shofar. And so you'll hear some shofar in this service, maybe some little shofar, maybe some big shofar. What kind of animal do you think this comes from anyway? I've had this sitting on my bookshelf. I've been wondering that. If you know, shoot me a note and let me know, because I've never seen an animal with a horn quite like this. Anyway, today we are celebrating being connected by the call of the shofar. You know, you're at your house and I'm here in my office, and you'll see that our service will be coming to you from the sanctuary of WJC. It doesn't seem like we're really together. And yet, when you sing along with us and when you hear the sound of the shofar, the same one that all of you are hearing in your different houses, the same one that we'll be hearing in the sanctuary at WJC, you'll know that we are all together. There are things that join us together besides actually being in the same place. We can all hear the call of this shofar, even if we're not physically in the same place. And so too, we can all be together, sharing the spirit of this beautiful Rosh Hashanah holiday, even though you're there and I'm here. It's going to be beautiful. Again, clear off some space. Don't be shy about singing along. You're by yourself at home. It'll mean more if you really get into it. And I'm not going to blow the shofar because that'll spoil it for later. So stay tuned. You'll hear the call of the shofar. And remember, we are all connected by the call of our Jewish selves, the call of our values, the call of this beautiful high holiday season.
On the high holidays, we think about all the things that we've done wrong, all of the ways we missed the mark, the mistakes we made, the things that we should have done, that we wish we had done. Why didn't I think before I said that? And each year we try again and again. The story I'm about to read is about Chelm, a town in Poland where there only lived very foolish people. They were all so silly and so foolish that they actually thought they were very wise. This is a story about a man named Lemel, who is going to get married soon, and about Shmelka, his neighbor, who gives him some gifts. Before Lemel returned to Chelm, from where he had driven in his own horse and wagon, Shmelka gave him a gift, a small pen with a mother-of-pearl handle. It happened to be the first day of Hanukkah, and the pen was both an engagement gift and a Hanukkah present. Since Lemel often came to Chelm to buy from the peasants milk, butter, hay, oats, and flax, which he would then sell, he soon came to visit his fiancée again. Shmelka asked Lemel whether his friends in Chelm had liked his pen, and Lemel replied that they had never seen it. Why not? Shmelka asked. Because I lost it, Lemel said. How did you lose it? I put the pen into the wagon, and it got lost in the hay. Shmelka was not a native of Chelm, but he came from another nearby town, and he said to Lemel, "You don't put a pen into a wagon full of straw and hay with cracks and holes in the bottom. A pen you put in your pocket, and then it doesn't get lost." "You're right," Lemel answered. "Next time I'll know what to do." Since the first gift had been lost, Shmelka gave Lemel a jar of jam to replace it. Lemel thanked him and returned to Chelm. Several days later, when business again brought Lemel to Chelm, his fiancée's parents noticed that his coat pocket was torn, and the entire left side of his pocket of his coat was covered with stains. "What happened to your coat?" they asked. Lemel replied, "I put the jar of jam in my pocket, but the road is full of holes and ditches, and I couldn't help bumping against the side of the wagon. The jar broke, and it tore my pocket, and the jam ran out all over my clothes. Why did you put the jar into your pocket? Shmelka asked. Well, didn't you tell me to? Lamel asked. A pen you put into your pocket. A jar you wrap in paper and place in the hay so that it won't break. Lamel replied, next time I'll know what to do. Since Lamel didn't really have any use for the first two gifts, his fiancée gave him a silver coin, which her father had given her as a Hanukkah present. When Lamel came to the village again, he was asked how he had spent the money. I lost it, he replied. How did you lose it? I wrapped it in paper and I put it in the hay. But when I arrived in Chelm and unloaded all of my goods, the coin was gone. A coin isn't a jar, Shmelka informed him. A coin you put into your coin purse. Next time, I'll know what to do, Lamel said. Before he returned to Chelm, his fiancée gave him some newly laid eggs, still warm from the chickens. On his next visit, he was asked how he had enjoyed the eggs, and he replied that they had all broken. How did they break? They asked. Well, I put them into my coin purse, but when I tried to close it, the eggs broke. Nobody puts eggs in a coin purse, Shmelka said. Eggs you put into a basket with some straw and you cover it with a rag so they won't break. Next time, Lamel says, I'll know what to do. Since Lamel hadn't been able to enjoy the gifts he had received so far, his fiancée decided to give him a duck. When he returned, they asked him how the duck was doing, and he replied that it had died on the way to Chelm. How did it die? They asked. Well, I put it in a basket with some straw, and I covered it over really, really well with rags, just like you told me to. But when I got home, the duck had died. A duck has to breathe, Shmelka said. If you cover it with rags, it will suffocate. A duck you put into a cage with some corn to eat, and then she'll arrive safely. Next time, I'll know what to do. Since Lamel had gained neither use nor pleasure from any of his gifts, his fiancée decided to give him her goldfish, a pet that she had had for several years. And again, on his return, when asked about the goldfish, he replied that it was dead. Why is it dead? They asked. Well, I put it in a cage and I gave it some corn, but when I got there, it had died. Since Lamel was still without a gift, his fiancée decided to give him her canary, which she loved dearly. But Shmelka told her it was pointless to give Lamel any more gifts because whatever you gave him either died or got lost. Instead, they decided to get the advice of the elder of Chelm. The elder listened to the whole story and, as usual, clutched her chin with one hand and placed the other on her high forehead, and after much pondering and humming, proclaimed, "The road between East Chelm and Chelm has all kinds of dangers, and that's why these misfortunes have happened. The best thing to do is to stop going back and forth. Just get married now. Then they'll be together, and he won't have to drag his gifts from one place to another, and nothing else will happen." And that's what happened. In Baruch She'amar, we are singing God's praises, thanking God, remembering that God created the world, that God is kind and caring and loving. With the special rhythm and repetition of the words, Baruch She'amar, Baruch Hu, Baruch Shemo, we pave the way for the morning service and get ready to say Baruch Hu, the call to prayer. When we sing Romamu, we are saying a few different verses from different psalms. Romamu Adonai Eloheinu, celebrate Adonai our God, v'hishtachavu lahar kodsho, and turn and bow towards God's holy mountain. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu, because Adonai our God is holy. When we are at services or praying at home, we pray facing Jerusalem, directing our hearts and thoughts east.
Romemu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. Romemu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. Ve'ishtachavu lahar kodsho, ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Romemu, Romemu, Adonai Eloheinu. Romemu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Ki kadosh Adonai Eloheinu. Romemu, 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 Adonai Eloheinu. Romemu, 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 Adonai אשרי יושבי ביתך עוד יהללוך עוד יהללוך אשרי יושבי ביתך עוד יהללוך עוד יהללוך אשרי יושבי ביתך עוד יהללוך סלה אשרי העם שככה לו אשרי העם שאדוני אלוהיו תהילה לדוד ארוממך אלוהי המלך ואברך שמך לעולם ועד בכל יום אברכך והללה שמך לעולם ועד גדול אדוני ומהולל מאוד ולגדולתו אין חקר דור לדור ישבח מעשיך גבורותיך יגידו הדר כבוד הודך בדברי נפלאותיך עשיך ועזוז נורותיך יאמרו וגדולתך אספרנה זכר רב טובך יביאו בצדקתך ירננו חנון ורחום אדוני ערך אפיים וגדול חסד טוב אדוני לכל ורחמיו על כל מעשיו יודוך אדוני כל מעשיך וחסידיך יברכוך כבוד מלכותך יאמרו וגבורתך ידברו להודיע לבני האדם גבורותיו וכבוד הדר מלכותו מלכותך מלכות כל עולמים וממשלתך בכל דור ודור סומך אדוני לכל הנופלים וזוקף לכל הכפופים עיני כל אליך יסברו ואתה נותן להם את אוכלם בעתו פותח את ידך ומשביע לכל חי רצון צדיק אדוני בכל דרכיו וחסיד בכל מעשיו קרוב אדוני לכל קוראיו וכל אשר יקראוהו באמת רצון יראיו יעשה ואת שבעתם ישמע ויושיעם שומר אדוני את כל אוהביו ואת כל הרשעים ישמיד תהילת אדוני ידבר פיhi יברך כל בשר שם קודשו לעולם ועד ואנחנו נברך יה מעתה ועד עולם hallelujah.
Baruch Hu is the call to prayer. We say it in the morning and in the evening service before the Shema, and we also say it before each Aliyah, before we read Torah on Shabbat morning. The Baruch Hu is where we say, we're all here. We're all together in our minyan. The leader says, blessed is God, toward whom all prayer goes. We agree and we reply, blessed is God, toward whom all prayer goes forever and ever. We're in the middle of what's called the Kedusha de Yotzer, where we are imagining all of the angels standing together in a chorus, singing and praising God, blessing God for all of God's creation. And we conclude by saying, Or Chadash, cause a new light to shine on Zion, and may we all soon be worthy of its illumination. Let's act well and be worthy of the beautiful light that shines and brightens our world every day, and especially today, Rosh HaShanah.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha b'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha u'b'chol me'odecha ve'hayu ha'devarim ha'ele asher anochi mitzavecha hayom al levavecha ve'shinantam levanecha ve'dibarta bam ve'shivtecha b'veitecha u'vlechtecha v'aderech u'shochbecha u'kumecha u'kshartam le'ot al yadecha ve'hayu letotafot bein einecha u'chtavtam al mezuzot beitecha u'visharecha. Michamocha ha'elim Adonai Michamocha Nedar b'kodesh Nora tehilot Shira chadasha shimchu geulim v'shimcha al sefat hayam yachad kulam hodu v'imlichu ve'ameru Anan ha'ufi yagi tehilatecha.
We're up to the time of the Amida, the time for private meditation. Our theme today has been the shofar, the call of the shofar. We talk about the shofar as an alarm to wake us up, right? To reflect on who we are and what we spend all our time doing. I want you to imagine those calls of the shofar as we have this private meditation time, and think about, what are you being called up to do? Right? What does that mean to you? To be connected to the Jewish community through the call of the shofar. What does it mean to you to be connected to the world through our senses, through who we're supposed to be and what God intends us to do? Take a couple of minutes, think about those things, and we'll continue our service after that.
Shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'imru amen. Yaseh shalom shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, yaseh shalom Shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael.
At this point in our Torah reading, Abraham has gone with Isaac up on the mountain, and he is about to sacrifice him. This is one of the most dramatic and frightening and moving pieces of Torah that we have. And when we look at the Torah trope, and when we read the Torah with its trope, we can hear how emotional and tense the situation is. At the very last minute, an angel appears and calls out Abraham's name twice, Avraham, Avraham. Abraham answers the way he has before. He says, Hineni, here I am. The angel tells him not to kill his son, but to sacrifice the ram that is caught behind him in the bushes. And he does. The angel says that Abraham has passed the test that God made for him. He proved how much he was devoted to God. Abraham lets Isaac go. This is a hard story, and we read it each year to wrestle with our own stories, with our own hard things in our life, and to remember how things can change sometimes at the very last minute.
Vayavo el hamankom asher amar lo Elohim vayven sham Avraham et hamizbeach vayaroch et hayitzim vayakod et Yitzchak beno vayasem oto o hamizbeach bimal hayitzim Vayishlach Avraham et yado vayikat et chamachelet lishchot et beno ויקרא אליו מלאך אדוני מן השמיים, ויאמר אברהם, ויאמר הנני. ויאמר אל תשלח ידך אל הנער ותעש לו מומך, כי עתה ידעתי כי ירא אלוהים אתה ולא חסכת את בנך את יחידך ממני. ויסח אברהם את עיניו וירא, והנה איל אחר נכס וזכבה בקרניו. וילא אברהם ויקרא את האיל, וילו לה תחת בנו. ויקרא אברהם שם המקום חכו אדוני יראה, אשר יאמר היום בחר אדוני יראה.
The Torah describes Rosh HaShanah as the day that the shofar is sounded. We are meant to listen carefully for the sound of the shofar and are commanded to hear the sounds that come from the shofar. Some people even close their eyes to be as focused as possible while they listen. On the high holidays, we think of the cry of the shofar as a call to return to good deeds, to apologizing, and to trying again.
I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes low and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast for a happy, happy, happy new year. Tiyah, shvarim, I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes low and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast for a happy, happy, happy new year. Tiyah, shvarim, I like to hear the shofar blast, sometimes low and sometimes fast. I like to hear the shofar blast for a happy, happy, happy new year.
Tkiya, Shvarim Trua, Tkiya, Tkiya, Shvarim, Tkiya, Tkiya, Trua, Tkiya, Tekiya Gedola.
Psalm 150 is the last psalm in the book of Psalms. We say this psalm every day, but today on Rosh HaShanah, it is extra special because it mentions the shofar, which we hear on the high holidays. Also, the word hallelujah is repeated 10 times in this psalm, and that's one of the reasons why on Rosh Hashanah we have 10 special verses added to the Musaf service.
Hallelujah. משתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא שבנות השמיים ויוסד הארץ ומושב יקרו בשמיים ממעל ושכינת עוזו בגובהי מרומים הוא אלוהינו מלכנו אפס מולדתו ככתוב בתורתו וידעת היום להשיב אותה בלבביך כי אדוני הוא האלוהים בשמיים ממעל ועל הארץ מתחת אין עוד ונאמר
Yesterday, we celebrated the idea of connection through creation. Today, our theme has been connected by the call of the shofar. What does it mean to be connected by a sound? I want to share with you an experience I had many years ago. It was my first year living in Israel. It was 1998, and it was Yom HaZikaron, Israel's Memorial Day. On Israel's Memorial Day, at an appointed hour, all of the air raid sirens go off for a full minute. All over the country, you can hear this loud braying. It penetrates. You can't help but hear it. And everybody in the country stops what they're doing. Highways are lined with cars that have stopped on super highways, big 6-lane, 8-lane highways. In towns, in cities, people stop on the sidewalk. They step out of their shops. They get out of their cars. As a matter of fact, on this particular Yom HaZikaron, the siren started to sound, and as people were trying to get out of their cars, there was a fender bender, and I was on the sidewalk next to it. And for the whole minute that this siren went off, these two people stood next to their cars, and they glared at each other, but they didn't make a peep, because it was the siren. Because the siren represented the Israeli soldiers who had fallen, who they were remembering on that Yom HaZikaron. The siren stopped. And what followed was a little bit of a tussle. But not during the siren. When that siren goes off in Israel, the entire country is connected through a sound that represents something bigger, that represents the connection of the country through their shared loss and through their shared purpose of creating a Jewish state and everything that they have sacrificed in order to make that so. That siren is based on the sound of a shofar. 2,000 years ago, when there was a temple in Jerusalem, as Shabbat approached, there was a special Baal Tokea, a shofar blower, who stood on the corner of the western and southern walls, retaining walls of the Temple Mount, looking out at the city, and he would blow a long tekiah gadola, a long blast of his shofar that would echo throughout the hills of Jerusalem, and everybody would know that Shabbat was coming. They were connected by the call of the shofar with a common purpose, in a common moment, in the moment that they would now set time aside to share Shabbat. You don't have to be physically together to be connected by a sound. And that is the message of our shofar today as well. Today, we are connected by a call. We are in this space. We can't even blow the shofar here, but we can blow the shofar around town. You can watch videos of the shofar being blown. Together, we will hear that shofar, and we will remember that we are connected by a purpose, that we are connected even though we can't be together. And our purpose in this year, 5781, is in fact to be a community, to stay connected, to find ways, creative ways, as we've been doing on these high holidays, to create community when physical closeness is not possible. One way to do that is by blaring the sound of the shofar, by sharing that deep Jewish history and connection that goes all the way back to Abraham and the ram in the bush. As we hear the sound of the shofar, celebrate the call and the connection of the call on this high holidays, it's a time for us to talk as families. How will we stay connected to our Judaism in this year when it will be challenging? What priorities will we make to maybe celebrate Shabbat on Friday nights, light Shabbos candles, come on, live stream to services here at WJC? So many ways to connect, but it takes a little more effort. This year, as we're connected by the call of the shofar, let's be connected by our community as well, by making our Judaism, our Jewish selves, a priority. Shana Tova.